I recently read a piece in Politico by former Obama speechwriter David Litt about why Democratic messaging struggles to connect with ordinary people. Whoa, slow down there, Bubba Louie. Regardless of your political leanings, the article wasn't really about politics. It was about language. More specifically, it was about what happens when professional communicators stop sounding human. Comedian Gianmarco Ceresi was Litt's proof. Ceresi's special, Thief of Joy, drew millions of viewers because he understands something many politicians, marketers, and executives don't. People respond to language that sounds true. That's the foundation of effective messaging and clear communication. But first, a story. A few years ago, I sat through a corporate presentation that sounded like it was written by a committee locked inside a conference room with just a thesaurus. The company explained how it leveraged integrated technological ecosystems to empower scalable stakeholder solutions while optimizing operational efficiencies through dynamic workflow innovation. 20 minutes into the presentation, I still had no clue what the company did. And that was Litt's point. When language gets filtered through layers of people trying to sound strategic, sophisticated, careful, or technically precise, it stops sounding real. So let's talk about the jargon tax. Think of jargon as a toll booth between your idea and your audience. The more complicated your language becomes, the more energy people spend decoding your meaning. Real estate companies promise lifestyle-driven living environments. Hotels say they create immersive hospitality experiences. Consultants talk about scalable revenue acceleration frameworks. Meanwhile, your customer's wondering what any of it means. Business jargon often forces customers to translate your message before they can understand your value. If they're even paying attention, that is, because your audience doesn't speak your eternal language. Most companies believe they're speaking to their customers, but in reality, they're often speaking to themselves, their investors, and their board members. The strongest messaging uses language customers already use because simple language creates clarity, and clarity builds trust. Comedians' audiences provide immediate feedback, and so comics trim unnecessary words, they replace abstraction with real images and experiences, and they focus on timing. But businesses rarely receive that kind of immediate feedback, so they don't understand that people react emotionally long before they react intellectually. Clarity requires discipline. A bad website survives because nobody wants to challenge the CEO. A mission statement keeps growing because everyone adds to it, but nobody removes anything. There's a strange fear in business that plain language and clear messaging make a company sound unsophisticated. But the opposite is true. Clear communication signals confidence. It tells customers that the company understands its value well enough to explain it simply. The brand people trust usually communicates with language that's focused, visual, and emotional. Clear messaging tells customers we know who we are and we understand what is important to you. That improves sales conversations, strengthens customer relationships, and helps people recognize why your product or service matters to them. Simple language is harder to write because clarity requires confidence. And that may be the biggest lesson in all of this. Whether you're running for office, building a brand, pitching investors, or writing a homepage, people respond to language that sounds human because effective communication begins with clarity. If this post made you rethink your own messaging, branding, or customer communication, mission accomplished. Now forward it to someone you know who writes copy, builds presentations, or approves marketing language. They're probably closer to this problem than they realize. Or, better yet, invite me to speak at your next sales meeting, conference, or convention, because I can't be any clearer than that.